Sarah Johnson had always been a fighter. Born and raised in a small Midwestern town in the United States, she lived her life with a quiet kind of determination. After an accident in her teenage years left her paralyzed from the waist down, her wheelchair became more than just a piece of equipment. It was her lifeline, her connection to the world, her independence. Every day, she wheeled herself to work, to the grocery store, to the park. She had learned to rely on it the way others rely on their cars. But one chilly autumn afternoon, everything changed. Sarah was on her way home from work at the local library, enjoying the crisp breeze and the crunch of golden leaves beneath her wheels. She had just crossed Main Street when suddenly her wheelchair jolted and came to a screeching halt. The front wheel had twisted awkwardly, refusing to budge. She tried pushing forward again, but the chair wouldn't move. Panic set in. She looked around as cars passed by and people hurried along the sidewalk. Some cast sympathetic glances, but no one stopped. For Sarah, this was more than just an inconvenience. Without her chair, she was stranded, vulnerable, and completely dependent on strangers. Her phone battery had died hours earlier, and she had no way of calling for help. The thought of being stuck, there exposed and helpless, was overwhelming. She pressed her palms against the rims, trying to force the wheel free, but the metal groaned and refused to turn. A group of teenagers walked past, whispering to each other, but they didn't intervene. An elderly couple slowed down, looked at her with pity, and kept moving. Her heart sank. In that moment, Sarah felt invisible. She thought about all the times she had proudly said she didn't need help, that she could manage on her own. But now, sitting on a busy street corner with a broken wheelchair, she felt small, fragile, and alone. Her mind began to spiral. What if no one helps me? What if I'm stuck here until night falls? How will I even get home? The questions came faster than she could answer them. She blinked back tears, unwilling to cry in public but unable to stop the lump forming in her throat. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. Sarah shifted uncomfortably, her legs numb, her body aching from being stuck in the same position. The world around her kept moving, people, rushing to appointments, grabbing coffee, chatting on their phones. Life didn't pause for her struggle. In the middle of that bustling town, Sarah had never felt so isolated. She wasn't just fighting a broken wheelchair. She was battling the crushing weight of helplessness. And for the first time in years, she doubted whether she truly had the strength to carry on. But little did she know, her darkest moment was about to lead to an encounter that would restore her faith in humanity and change her life in a way she could never have imagined. As Sarah sat on the corner of Main Street with her broken wheelchair, her eyes scanned the crowd one last time. Just when she was about to give up hope, a man in his late 30s walked out of a nearby auto repair shop. His hands were greasy, and his shirt bore the name tag Tom. He had been closing up for the day when he noticed the woman struggling. In the distance, unlike the others, Tom didn't just glance and walk away. He saw the panic on her face, the way she was trying to hide her tears, and he felt a tug at his heart. Without hesitation, he grabbed his small toolbox from the shop and jogged across the street. "Hey there," he said gently, kneeling beside her chair. "Looks like you've run into a bit of trouble." Sarah looked at him with wide, uncertain eyes. "My wheel, it just locked up. I can't move it. I don't know what to do." Her voice cracked as the weight of her helplessness finally broke through. Tom gave her a reassuring smile. "Don't worry. I fix cars all day. I'm sure I can handle a wheelchair." He set his toolbox down and inspected the wheel carefully. The front axle had jammed, and a small bolt had come loose. To anyone else, it might have looked hopeless. But to Tom, it was just another machine waiting for some care. As he worked, Sarah sat in silence, her hands folded tightly in her lap. She couldn't believe this stranger had stopped, especially when so many others hadn't. She wanted to speak, to thank him, but emotion held her tongue. Tom loosened a few screws, realigned the wheel, and tightened the bolt with practiced precision. He tested the chair, giving it a few rolls back and forth. The wheel moved smoothly again, as if it had never broken. "There we go," Tom said, standing up with a grin. "Good as new." Sarah placed her hands on the rims and slowly pushed forward. The chair glided effortlessly. Relief washed over her like a wave, and before she could stop herself, tears spilled down her cheeks. "You didn't just fix my wheelchair," she whispered, her voice trembling. "You gave me back my freedom." Tom's smile softened. "No one should ever feel stuck like that. You're stronger than you think, but sometimes even the strongest need a little help." Sarah reached out and gripped his hand, holding it tightly. The connection was brief but powerful. In that moment, she realized that kindness still existed in the world, that even in her lowest moment, someone cared enough to stop and make a difference. As Tom packed up his toolbox, Sarah felt a renewed sense of hope. The wheelchair was fixed, but something deeper had been repaired, to her faith in humanity. That night, as she rolled home with a smile on her face, she replayed the encounter again and again. She had started the evening feeling invisible and broken, but thanks to one mechanic's compassion, she ended it with tears of joy and a heart full of gratitude. Sometimes heroes don't wear capes, they carry toolboxes.